Yeah, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, let's make it. I'd like to ask for motion of consent to approve January 6th, 2025 regular board meeting agenda. Item 103. Second. Any questions on the agenda? Any changes, updates, additions? With the exception, oh, it's this one? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So I'd ask for a motion of consent for item 1.04 to approve the December 2nd, 2024 regular board meeting minutes. Second. Any questions on December 2nd meeting? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I'd like to ask for a motion of consent for 1.05 to approve the December 10th, 2024 special board meeting minutes. Any questions on the special board meeting? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So. Mr. Yes.
Me? Yeah.
Oh,
I got Jeff Rose.
yeah,
That's it.
Regina will go first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you.
it was the first one.
Okay.
I gotta psych myself up.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2025. It's official. Drama Club hosted a movie night for past and present Drama Club students in the auditorium over break. We showed Wicked and had a great turnout of both current and Drama Club alumni. Drama Club and AP Literature students had the opportunity to see Jiva's production of Little Women in March, fitting with the characters. They will be attending a matinee performance designated for school groups. The 7th grade class went to see A Christmas Carol at Jiva Theater on December 11th after reading the play together in English class. Unfortunately, it was very hectic and no pictures were taken. However, the students had a wonderful time and could not stop talking about how much they enjoyed the play and how they saw the connections between what they did in class and the play they saw on stage. NJHS has filled 2 trucks with food over the holiday season for the Geneseo Groveland Food Pantry. The members worked on holiday cards for our military overseas and residents at Morgan Estates who don't get many visitors during the holidays. The NJHS members would like to take this time to thank you guys, the Board of Education, as well as Mr. Salto, Dr. Hunter, Mr. Veely, Mrs. Curley, Mr. Holt, Ms. New, Mr. Van Epps, and Mr. Lehman for their support during this school year, and they wish you all happy holidays. The middle school patroners were all set to showcase their literary prowess on Thursday, December 12th, until they experienced a plot twist that they didn't find in their books, a snow day. But don't worry, their competition has been rescheduled to this Wednesday, January 8th. These avid readers have devoured every page of their books and are primed for success. Wish them the best of luck and stay tuned for the thrilling recap at the next time I'm here. On December 20th, the Foreign Language Club had a holiday food celebration. Members brought foods to share for their final meeting of 2024. They had food representation from Norway, Sweden, Germany, Puerto Rico, France, Russia, as well as some treats from Geneseo family traditions. It was a group effort with good participation from membership and leadership from the officers who came in earlier in the day to do the food prep. The do-gooders donated $200 to World Central Kitchen using the money they raised so far in the T-shirt Tuesday fundraiser and the bottle can returns. This is an organization that the club has supported in the past and was one of the first on the scene for hurricane relief in the southern U.S., providing food to displaced families. The T-shirt Tuesday fundraiser will continue throughout the rest of the year. Thanks to all who have participated so far. Any questions for me?
Well done. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to be back. See you next time.
All right. Now.
Okay. Hello again. We got a clicker? Okay. Figure out which button does what here, Mr. Sal. You sick of me showing up to these yet? So I'm here just to talk about a fundraiser that we will be doing or hoping to do for the whale watch. We did this last year And we are taking over from the GCEF. They graciously passed along this fundraiser to us starting last year, so this will be our second year of hopefully doing it. This is the Hardwood Classic, of course, and it is a basketball game of GCS staff versus community members. There are a couple pictures of us in action. What I'm still kind of blown away by, and I'll get to the other stuff, but I just can't believe how packed it was last year. We tried to publicize it as obviously as well as we could, but you never know. It was the first time since COVID, and just to see the stands as full as they were was such a thrill. So this year we're hoping to do it Saturday, March 15th. It'll be around 6 o'clock. And again, we do owe a huge debt. That expression, we're standing on the shoulders of giants here. They really established this as a tradition, and they just weren't looking to do it anymore. So we graciously and gratefully are taking over for them. There we go. Okay, so yes, like I said, it is a game between staff members and then members of the community in the Geneseo and Groveland area. Alumni, parents, anyone that's kind of involved in the community are welcome. We could try to get the word out, and we had, I think, almost 20 members on their team last year, so it wasn't short of players, and we had a good mix of participants in terms of skill level, gender. It was just a great mix, and what I loved most about it was just the camaraderie, and it was just a fun night. It was competitive, people played hard, but it never got to the point of, let's bring it down, it's just a game. It was so much fun, a lot of sportsmanship, which, as an elementary teacher, I'd like to see demonstrated by the adults, and so that the kids watching see that you can compete and have fun, but still not, go too hard or cross that line. And it is a wonderful fundraiser. It raised, a few $1,000s. I think it was a little over 3,000. But like I said, it's just a fun night. It was a great community event. It brought the whole school community together, and I hope that we would have another night like that again this year, if we can make it happen. So that's it in a nutshell. So if you have any questions on it or anything, I'll answer them as best I can. Yeah, so we are seeking approval of this.
Thank you for doing that.
Oh, of course, happy to do it again.
No, I think it's wonderful. Feedback that I got was, maybe to come up with more events.
Yeah, I know, we
Volleyball tournament or.
Yeah,
other things.
yeah, like flag football was thrown out as an idea, I know, but I know that, space is limited and time is limited, but yeah, we would love to do,
Mrs. Curley can't get hurt again, though.
No, she's gonna coach, right?
Yeah.
We plan on her
No
getting,
injuries.
yeah, she's gonna get teed up at least once by the referees.
Baby fight.
We can get her kicked out. Yeah, and we do add something I didn't think of, but the referees are two seniors from, the current class. Last year we had, who do we have? We had Maddie and Kellen. Yeah, and then this year, we'll pick a couple seniors so that the kids are involved, and that helps them, see their peers out there as well. Thank you, appreciate it.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the Hardwood Classic, March 15th. Well, second. Okay. All right, any, all in favor? All right. You're off and running, or dribbling. So I guess it's you.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, I just have a few items I would like to bring up in an update from the superintendent's office. First of all, a special recognition to our entire GCS music department for the wonderful concerts throughout the whole holiday season. It is a highlight in our community. This year was also special because we brought back the students performing in front of their peers in the school day. So in-house concert was also very nice during the school day where peers can show off their talents in front of all their classmates. And it was just a great weeks of performances. So kudos to the entire music department all the way up from kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade. It was really remarkable. Our spring play, the orphan train is what is being selected, and it'll be March 21st and 22nd. And I bring that up, soon you'll be hopefully appointing a common face to come back to lead our play. But there are a few things this year that I will bring up at this point. One being there's a little conflict, but it's not unusual. It's happened in the past where that's the same weekend as Odyssey Regionals. So there won't be a matinee, but students will still have time to get to the Odyssey Regionals, back for the play as well. Bobby knows that all too well from her days in Odyssey to mine. There's just really not many good days during March, and it's certainly when you get into April that we could have the show. So sometimes you run into minor conflicts. It's better than having it during Worlds when you can't even be in the same area. So that's, we're excited for that show. New York State budget update. We're hopefully going to be getting information real soon that tells us what direction the governor's recommending and what are the possibilities for next year. So hopefully over the next few weeks, we'll learn a lot more as it relates to New York State budget. Starting July 1st, many of you are aware of this, we do have to have a student BOE representative. So we'll be working on policy on how we're going to choose that person to represent our student body. It is a non-voting member of the board, but their input is very important. So we'll have some processes, some protocol, and obviously some policy related to that. All schools are working on that, but that has to go into effect at July 1st for that meeting. Special thanks to Aaron Davis. Aaron did something that was greatly needed and painted the middle and high school faculty rooms over break. If any of you have ever been in there, I don't think they've been painted since day one. So he did a great job, spent a lot of time in there, and I know that made staff very happy. I think it was Megan's idea to push that initiative. So thank you, Megan. Or Craig, I don't know, but well done. I'd like to especially thank the Ferguson family who provided a holiday lunch for our maintenance department. It's always good to recognize the maintenance department who does so much for our school and works so many hours to give them a nice holiday lunch. You may also be aware of the new prenatal care law, which means that staff will be entitled to 20 hours of prenatal care for appointments. That actually goes in effect January 1st of 2025. So last week that went into effect, and we will have that in place for staff that need the 20 hours for prenatal care. That is law, so we will obviously have processes in place for that as well. Last week, the Geneseo Police Department also spent a whole day in a training here at school, which was great. The building was basically shut down. We had some administrators volunteer their time to help support the training for our police officers, which hopefully you never need, but it is a great exercise to go through. So kudos to Chief Oskanian and his crew for coming in and spending most of the day here, getting familiar with our building, as well as the routines and drills that they will be doing. Any questions?
No. Great, thanks. There, anybody signed in?
No.
All right, nobody, community relations? Craig, finance committee tonight?
Sure, yep, we had a meeting prior to this meeting, primarily reviewed the extra class audit, which was a clean audit, no dings there, and then the other audit that was done was a single audit, which is required for, because we receive over $750,000 of federal grant money, and that audit also was clean, so those were pretty short conversations. We spent the rest of the meeting just kind of talking more budget in general, nothing too specific, but just talking about where we're going forward with the budget. Yep. Good.
Kevin, any policy updates? I know there's a first and second read tonight. Yes. First and second read tonight are hopefully policies that we pass back in the summer. Our next policy meeting is January 17th. We can continue on through the rest of the school year. Various updating hopefully come into completion of updating the policy manual prior to the end of the school year. Okay. Thank you.
Anything on PCBF?
We're gonna meet next week. We were supposed to meet tonight. But, Mr. Mehmet has asked to reschedule for next week, so
Okay.
the group will be meeting and I'll have a report it for next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do that with the personnel.
Under personnel, I'd like to ask for a consent motion for items 6.02 to 6.18.
Second?
Okay, so a lot of updates here. Any questions on any of these? So we have operations manager, substitute teachers, coaches. One employee who is planning to retire has decided not to. Okay, that. Questions on any of the personnel items? No comments? It's a new year, it's gonna be quiet. All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Congratulations, John.
Thank you. Under new business, I'd like to ask for a motion of consent for items 7.02 to 7.11.
Second?
So I just had a couple questions.
Yes.
7.04,
And which one?
under 7.04, policy 7350, the timeout and physical restraint. I just had a question about where does the district currently have a timeout space?
We don't call it timeout, we call it a safe space. It's where we have the students right in the elementary, right?
And there's no designated timeout.
No timing.
Any
safe space.
Is it within like the 12.1 classroom? No, you don't have any.
No timeout.
It was my understanding that we did, when we talked about this, that it was, a location that was, it could be in the location that the student is having trouble in, and they asked the other students to move to a different room, but it
Correct.
had to do with,
Safe.
yeah. So that could be in space that's available. That's all I have.
Yeah, but I mean, it talks about the, the space should be free of projectiles, basically, and it should be reasonably constituted with protective type material. So I mean, that's how it's written currently, and I just worry about that.
Do we have any free space in the building that we could set something up like that? I mean, it's a.
We'd have to look at that.
Well, so I would worry about setting a space up like this. Yes.
So Matt, are you recommending we hold this policy and review it further, or are you?
So, well, we've already done that once.
So
But it could be.
do you want it done again?
Well, so it's, I'm alone. I'm a lone voice
Not
here,
alone, it's
so,
trying to understand what.
yeah,
I think
so,
so when we spent a lot of time on it and kind of going back and forth and with Dr. Hunter's input was,
I definitely saw some change, I definitely saw the work you guys did.
and the idea of that when that space is needed, it's needed surrounding the student, and that every effort is made to ensure that that space that the student is in, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, is to ensure that that space is kept safe from projectiles, but because they're not going to like move a student to a space when the student's in crisis,
Right.
that, so it was really, I appreciate all of the questions because it's so complicated, and that is where policy becomes incredibly difficult.
Right, and where I don't wanna the waters I don't want us to go into are creating an environment and type of space where then we become a district that has this type of specialized space, and therefore people will be looking to send us different for students. So,
We've gone away from any timeout.
right,
Okay, so we have flexible space and then there's a survey done at that point in time to make sure that it's safe. The objects and other things are not going to cause any further harm. Is there anything beyond that you're looking?
no, I think the language in here is good about, making sure that the teachers are properly trained.
Mhm.
So, I think that's probably great. I know other districts have done just like kind of a carve out space in a classroom that has like this.
Any, Lisa? Okay. Any other questions on the items here? There's certainly the course guide.
Yeah, I had a question about the first
Mhm.
one. There was a course called career internship. Do we have any students actually taking that?
Right now, we have a couple students doing.
How does it work? Do they leave the school and go to their job
Yeah,
center?
right now, I know of one most recently that is pursuing a career in journalism or TV. So she'll go work with Channel 10, 13, and then a writer from the DNC. So they go visit the different places and spend some time. And we've had students go to a variety of different.
Is one teacher designated to kind
Correct,
of
work with
see
them
that?
and organize it all with career days and all that. Yes. It's one teaching assignment for a teacher.
And the only other question I had is, Accelerate You, do we have any students?
Yes, I'd have to get the most recent number, but I think we have about probably, it goes by course, so most students take one. Very rarely do they sign up for 2 Accelerate U courses, because they're for courses that if a student can't fit something in their normal schedule, because they're taking a bunch of APs or conflicts, they have an opportunity to take a course
Is
that
there
they
a
would have
cost
liked
to
to.
it?
Yes, there is a cost. The district picks
Do we
up the
pay-
cost.
do we pay for that?
Yes.
So on
We
average,
budget-
5 or 6.
Yeah, probably more than that. Yeah. I think sometimes we get up, I want to say 15 to 16 classes.
And then there's a teacher assigned to kind of oversee them with that,
No,
they're on their own.
that's the thing with Accelerate U, they're kind of on their own. Takes the student with some self-discipline, some organizational skills, some good time management skills. It is a good practice for students that are going on to college, because a lot of classes now are online. So they find that to be beneficial. Some students struggle with it. But for the right student, have a very positive learning experience.
At some point, could you provide a list of the, kind of the classes that they've taken? Maybe some examples, so
Absolutely.
any languages?
There are languages in there. Have to look to see if anyone's taking advantage.
Great, thanks, Mark.
We're also approving the resolution for the architectural firm in here. And, the issuance of bonds. Any questions on those as well? Okay. Hearing none, then all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so, thank you.
Under the business office, to ask for motion of consent for items 8.02 and 8.03.
Yes. Second?
Thank you for an incredible donation. To the, listed in here under item 8.02. Thank you. Any questions on any of this? All in favor? Any opposed? No? So one of the year is 25 minutes. Happy New Year.
Motion to adjourn, staff
In favor?
at 7:25.
So moved.